Hi, my name is Frank Yoakum. I'm the Executive Director at the Enlisted Association of the National Guard, ENGAS, and I'm here to talk to you about membership. And you should be saying to yourself right now, wow, why should I become a member of ENGAS? Why not some other organization? Why join ENGAS? And I'm here to tell you exactly why. You're a professional. This is a profession of arms that we belong to, the Army Guard or Air Guard, and professionals belong to professional associations. Doctors belong to the American Medical Association. Accountants usually belong to the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Had to use my cheat sheet on that one. Human resource professionals belong to the Society for Human Resource Management. As a member of the Guard and part of America's military, you're in a profession of arms, and you are a professional soldier or professional airman, and you need to belong to a professional association. There's a bunch of associations that are out there. There's over 50,000 associations out there that represent military members in one way, shape, or fashion. There's a few here that are in town here in Washington, D.C. I'm going to call them out here. Maybe you've heard of some of them. ROA, the Reserve Organization of America. They represent all reserve component members, officer and enlisted. There's the MOA, the Military Officers Association of America. They represent officers of all services, active and reserve. The Air Force Association represents those that are affiliated with the air side of the house. So that's active Air Force, the Air Guard, and the Air Reserve, and officer and enlisted. The AUSA, Association for the U.S. Army, represents the Army, officer and enlisted, active Army, Army Reserve, Army Guard. AFSA, our friends over there in D.C., they represent the Air Force Sergeant Association, represent the active component enlisted, and then the reserve component enlisted as far as the Air Reserve and the Air Guard go. They all have divided loyalties. They don't just represent the enlisted force of the National Guard. They represent active and Guard and Reserve, and the majority of their memberships are usually active component folks. So where do you think they spend most of their time and effort? On the active component folks. We don't. We don't have those divided loyalties. ENGAS has been around since 1972, and we represent only the enlisted members of the Army and the Air National Guard. With ENGAS, your voice is heard in many, many places. First off, your voice is heard in the halls of Congress. We have a lobbyist that works with the House and Senate Armed Services Committees. We have a lobbyist that works with the House and Senate Veterans Affairs Committees. We are able to work not only with the members of Congress, but with their staff and with the professional staff on the committees. And we have relationships with all of them, and we tend to be very successful with them. Your voice is also heard at the Department of Defense. We meet monthly with the Defense Health Agency that runs the TRICARE program, and you are represented to the highest levels of that from the top down if you're a member of ENGAS. We meet with the Reserve Forces Policy Board on a quarterly basis, and that's where personnel policies are determined throughout the Department of Defense. We also meet with other members of DoD through the personnel community, and we also meet with Guard Bureau on a very regular basis, whether it's the Army Guard, the Air Guard, or the Guard Bureau itself. Your voice is also heard with the TRICARE contractors. There are the west side of the United States has Health Net Federal Services. We are in touch with and meet with them on a quarterly basis. The east side of the United States has Humana Government Services. We meet with the CEO and COO and others from Humana on a quarterly basis. We meet with the International SOS that has the overseas program, and you're saying to yourself, well, the Guard isn't overseas. Yeah, it is. When you go overseas on a deployment, or if you were to go over there on vacation and you had some sort of medical issue, who do you think is going to take care of you? International SOS. So we talk to them as well. We also talk to Wisconsin Physician Services. Who are they? You've probably never heard of them. They take care of our TRICARE for Life folks, the people who are Medicare eligible and are on TRICARE for Life. We also deal with Express Scripts on a quarterly basis. Express Scripts runs the pharmacy program and has the pharmacy backbone for not only the Department of Defense, but for most of the pharmacies that are out there in America. Your voice is also heard at VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and at the White House. We meet with them monthly. And we have breakfast with the Secretary of VA on a monthly basis. We meet with them more frequently than just monthly because we coordinate with them all the time, but at a minimum of a monthly basis. Your voice is also heard at the Department of Education. One of our lobbyists is on a negotiated rulemaking committee, and that's where they determine policy for use of the GI Bill and that sort of thing. So we're over at Department of Ed as well. Your voice is heard in the Military Coalition. The Military Coalition is a group of about 35 military and veteran service organizations like INGAS, like NAUGUS, like VFW, who get together on a monthly basis and discuss issues that are relevant to all of us. We're an integral part of that. In fact, we sit on 3 of those different committees. One of the committees is the Guard and Reserve Committee. One of the committees is the Personnel Committee. One of the committees is the Healthcare Committee. I personally sit on the Healthcare Committee, and we are able to interject INGAS goals and priorities, as well as look out for our INGAS members when we're sitting on those committees and while we're at the TMC meetings. Your voice is also heard at NAUGUS because every quarter when they hold their board of directors meeting, they invite us to come in and be part of their board of directors. And by the way, we're in the NAUGUS building here, and so they're just right downstairs. We're up on the 8th floor, they're on the 1st and 2nd floor, and so we're able to talk to them on a regular basis. In addition to that, AGAUS, the Adjutant Generals Association, meets downstairs at NAUGUS, and we interface with them on a quarterly basis as well. For the small price of membership that you pay in INGAS, your voice is heard all over the DC area and, of course, all over America. And the price of admission for that is about $2.99 a month or less. So it's really worth your time and your money to invest it in a membership in INGAS. Plus, we have lots of different benefits out there, from accidental death and dismemberment policies to scholarships that we hand out, to an emergency relief fund if you have a financial emergency. It's well worth your time and your money to be part of INGAS, and we implore you to be part of us. If you want to know more, go out to www.ingas.org or give us an email, send us an email at ingas@ingas.org, or give us a call at 1-800-234-3264, extension number 1. Thank you.